Hi there, welcome to the new session. In this session, we are going to discuss about international financial management, right? Issues that are involved in international financial management. First of all, what is financial management? Financial management is nothing but raising of the funds and allocating of the funds and looking over the circulation of capital and excuse me, and investing in long term. So all these things are nothing but the parts, the functions of the financial management at domestic level and also at the international level. So now what would be the challenges so that are involved in international financial management? So the first challenge or the first issue that is involved in international financial management is protection of natural resources, right? So when there is no more international finance, it will grow, its growth will affect the natural resources, right? For example, after increasing the number of banks in India, right? So if number of banks has been increased, so the equipment that is used in order to maintain that banks, right, like computers or air conditions or some other things. So because of the changes of temperature in India, because of all these things, the natural some of the natural resources are going to be damaged, right? So one more thing, that is terrorism. Terrorism is a main important challenge or the issue that involved in international finance. If any country will increase the terrorism in other country, the international finance will be affected, right? Uh, it means if they are operating more in other countries in with respect to finance, with respect to the money, so then so that the other country will have more control over that country, so that sometimes that would leads to these terrorism. And one more important challenge, that is culture. So it will also having challenges of culture, right? Regarding food or regarding culture, regarding dressing, all these things, right? Cultural challenges, and sometimes political policies and laws so that we use, right? So that will also will have international effect on international finance and currencies. The currencies what we use, international finance will be affected by international currencies. Some foreign currencies, if we are dealing with foreign countries, at the same time you are dealing with the current market, so the forex rate will be changed. The market rate of forex is nothing but foreign exchange. The foreign exchange will change. Sometimes the value of your own money will get reduced and others money will get faster. So that kind of problems that we are going to face in international currencies, right? These are all the challenges that we are facing in international financial management regarding the natural resources, terrorism, culture, some of the political policies and law of nations, all these things, and international currencies also. So in these international currencies, we came across with a new word which is nothing but forex. So forex is nothing but foreign exchange. So let us discuss about that forex. So the forex market is the market in which participants can buy, sell, exchange, and speculate on currencies. If you are studying about, if you are studying or dealing with other countries currencies, with various currencies of other countries, so you may sometimes sell it, you may sometimes buy it, sometimes you may speculate it, and sometimes you may exchange it. So if you are doing that, if you are buying or if you are selling or if you are exchanging, so all these things has to be done based on a particular rate, which is nothing but foreign exchange rate. Okay, so the forex market is made up of banks, commercial companies, central banks, investment management firms, hedge funds, and retail forex brokers and investors. All these commonly joined together and started a new market, which is nothing but forex market. So all these banks. So what will happen is the currency market is considered as one of the largest financial market over dollars 5 trillions in daily transactions, which is more than the futures and equity markets combined. So means they all these banks or commercial, some of the commercial companies, some central banks, and some of the other private brokers, all these joined and they have started this currency market. If you see, the currency market transactions are more than 5 trillions in a day. So the market of this currency is more, means this forex market is larger when we compare with futures or equity or some other kind of financial markets in financial markets, right? So the foreign exchange markets is not denominated by a single market exchange, right? So it is not dominated by a single market exchange, but a global network of computers and brokers around the world. So forex brokers also act as market makers, and they post bid and they ask for the prices and the currency pair that differs from the more competitive bids in the market. If you see the levels like interbank markets or over the counter, we all know over the counter markets are nothing but where uh, no standardized body will be involved. Uh, it is not on not in the, all the things, all the works are not in the hands of the any kind of stock exchanges. So independently, two or more parties will join together and they'll carry out their transactions. So right, so forex market will be done at interbank markets, at the same time over the counter means in bank by involvement of certain statutory body, the agreements will be done. Without the involvement of statutory body, the settlements will be done or the agreements will be done. So that is forex market. Now, let us see one more important concept in this international financial activities. So that is international monetary system, the monetary system that we are using. So the international monetary system had many formal and informal stages, right? So to evaluate these international monetary system, there is a big flashback. So with so many changes from before and after World War I, and after that up to now, so many changes were done in this international monetary system. So international monetary system had many informal and formal stages. So for more than 100 years, the gold standard provides a stable means for countries to exchange their currencies and facilitate trade. So I already told you before, when we are studying about international business theories, so the mercantile theory, so all these means traditional theories, when we are studying about these traditional theories, so I told you the medium of exchange for goods is gold in initial days. So gold is having more value, and gold is used to exchange it between one country to another country for exports and imports. So now when the world war came into existence, the demand for the gold has been reduced. So because of that, they abolished the gold standards, right? So they started a new exchange system, which is nothing but a barter system. We discussed at that time. So this monetary system evolution was started at that time, right? The gold standard provides a stable means for countries to exchange their currencies and facilitate trade. So with the Great Depression, the gold standard collapsed, and gradually we have a way to Bretton Woods systems. So next, once gold standard was reduced, the Bretton Woods system was started. So what is this Bretton Woods system? So Bretton Woods system is a new monetary system which is based on US dollar. So means the exchange mode is US dollars, right? So this system incorporated some of the disciplinary advantages of the gold system, while giving other countries the flexibility that they need to manage temporary economic set breaks, which had led to fall of the gold standards. Means once the gold standards were reduced, so a barter system was started, and then Bretton Woods system was started. So in this Bretton Woods system, the exchange, this Bretton Woods system, a new monetary system which is based on US dollars. So by these again the gold standards was reduced. So once the Bretton Woods system was collapsed, so it was lasted up to 1971. If you observe that, so the Bretton Woods system lasted until 1971 and provided the longest formal mechanism of exchange rate, means between the countries. between the countries, from one country to another country, if exports or imports are done, or if they formed as colonial groups, and if they are enjoying the superpowers, or if they formed as regional integration and exchanging goods between one country to another country, or if they formed as an associations and following certain rules and regulations regarding tariffs and taxes, all these things, they used to follow this Bretton Woods system only. So it is the this mechanism, this Bretton Woods system mechanism was followed for many years. It is the longest formal mechanism that is used for exchange rate between one country to another country. And once at 1971, temporary crises were raised. Because of that, this Bretton Woods system was stopped. So while no new formal system has been replaced with this Bretton Woods system, some of its key elements has endured, included a modified managed float of foreign exchange, so which is nothing but the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. So although each has evolved to meet uh, changing old conditions. So right. So once this Bretton Woods system was collapsed, so many years no formal organizations or no formal systems were started. So later on, a new foreign exchange was introduced, which is nothing but International Monetary Fund, IMF we are calling, IMF and the World Bank, and they started this foreign exchange rate. So based upon the foreign exchange rate, based upon the LIBOR and MIBOR, we are just exchanging the currencies between one country to another country. So that is nothing but International Monetary System. So International Monetary System was evolved uh, in many stages. We can see once it started gold standards, then it is barter system, then Bretton Woods system. Once Bretton Woods system was collapsed, later on, for so many years no formal mechanism was followed. Later on, when IMF, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank was started, so this International Monetary System, foreign exchange rate, was started, right? So that is about the International Monetary System. Now let us see one more important concept in international financial operations, that is international financial markets. We need to discuss about international financial markets, right? So we all know financial markets at a country level. We all know financial markets. So how the financial system was splitted. uh, the financial system was splitted into many parts, like financial services or financial institutions, financial markets, right, intermediaries. So all these are all the branches of financial system. So financial market is a branch of financial system. So what is this financial market? So financial market is nothing but a place where financial wealth will be traded between the individuals, right? Financial wealth will be traded between the individuals. Suppose if it is if it is in an international financial market, financial wealth will be traded between the countries with certain rules and regulations which were designed by some of the regulatory bodies like SEBI or IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank. So all these, so they have formed certain rules and regulations. According to that, so we are just exchanging money from surplus units to deficit units. So now if you see in the types of international financial markets that we are having are capital market. So capital market, which are nothing but all the capital is divided into means the shares, right? Shares will be traded over there, which is nothing but capital market is nothing but a kind of stock market. So where the time period is more, the time period is more than a year, long term securities, long term financial securities will be traded here. So that's what here written. So this financial market engages in the trading of financial securities, and financial securities such as equities and bonds, and also it consists of stocks and bonds, and purchasing of all these things may happen. And next, stock market, we all know, rising of the capital and issuing of the stocks, right? So with the purchase of each stocks, the buyer owns small part of the capital, small share of the capital of a company. So slowly the company distributes its ownership among the trade of the stocks. Next, bond market. We all know bond market is, which is nothing but debt market, so which are issued by some of the lenders or investors for an agreed period, right? After agreed period means once the bond get expired, so they are going to get back their capital. Next, money market, which is for short period. If you see, capital market is for long period and money market is for short period. Under money market, short term financial instruments will be traded, like commercial papers or certificate of deposits, bills of exchanges. All these things will be exchanged, or borrowing and lending can takes place. Next, derivatives. We all derivatives is one of the financial market, international financial market, where trading will takes place on underlying asset. So means it is derived from something else, right? So derivatives is it is trading of financial instrument that is derived from the other asset. So it is of like futures, forwards, options, and swaps. Forwards is nothing but an agreement between two or more parties. So where the exchange will takes place at a specified time and specified price, so no statutory body will be involved. Whereas in futures, so it is a same agreement between two or more parties for a particular period and for a particular time, but a standardized authority will be involved. So options means you'll have an advantage of a buyer option and a seller option, which is nothing but call option and put option. So if you go for call option, call optioner will have an advantage either to buy or not to buy. Whereas in buyer option, buyer will have an advantage either to seller option, which is nothing but put option. The seller will have either an advantage either to sell or not to sell. So all those are the types of instruments that are traded in derivatives markets. And next, over the counter market. In the previous topic only I mentioned, over the counter market means where the trading will takes place beyond the hands of the exchanges in the sense the stock markets, the stock exchanges. So means no involvement of stock exchanges will be there. That is nothing but over the counter market, means illegal markets. For you to understand clearly, it's a kind of illegal, so where no statutory body, no rules, no regulations will be followed in that. Next, foreign exchange. We all know forex markets, so we discussed now itself. So forex markets where the currencies will get exchanged at a particular rate, so that is nothing but foreign exchange rate. Next, commodity market. Commodity market is one of the type of derivatives market, right? This is also another type of marketplace where the commodities will be traded. So these commodities are categorized into two types. One is soft commodity and hard commodity. So hard commodities like natural resources. So if you see natural resources like gold, oil, coal, silver, all these things. So the natural resources. Soft commodities like wheat, sugar, coffee, pepper, all these things. So which are agricultural products. That means we are just the goods that's what we produced, agricultural products. Okay, so that is soft commodities, and hard commodities are the natural resources. These will be traded in commodities market. So these are all different types of international financial markets: capital market, stock market, bond market, money market, derivatives market, over the counter, foreign exchange, and commodities market. So these are all different types of markets that are available in international financial markets. So now let us see export finance. Export finance is nothing but a kind of financial assistance that will be provided to the businesses, when it will be provided means when the goods are in transit, when the goods are being exported. Okay, so export finance is a term described the specialist range of finance that focused on the export market, right? So it aims to support businesses reaching the international market once the shipment has left the domestic customs. So then there can be a significant time period while the goods are in transit, right? And then they collected by the importers. So means uh, in between the exporter and the importer, suppose if you are exporting goods, so in between the exporter and the importer, the goods transformation from exporter to importer, transit time would be there, right? So during that period, some kind of financial assistance will be provided to the businesses. That financial assistance is nothing but export finance, right? So when emerging markets are concerned, the ability to extend attractive payment and importers are often a huge part of winning an order. So all based upon the cash flow cycle. During the gap between export to import, a gap would be there, right? That cash flow cycle, in order to fulfill the gap between that cash flow cycle, some financial support will be given to them, right? That is nothing but export finance. Okay, in short, for you to understand export finance, so in between exporting and importing, the time between the export and import of the good, a gap would be present in the cash flow cycle. So to fulfill, to remain or to maintain that cash flow cycle in positive, right? So some kind of financial assistance will be given, that is called as export finance. Okay. uh, so these are all the uh, international financial operations, right? In the last class we have seen international marketing activities. Now in this session we have seen international financial activities regarding the challenges or foreign exchange market, international monetary system, financial markets, and export finance. So all these are all the concepts that we discussed in international financial markets. In the next session we see HR activities. Hope you understood the session. That's the end of the session. Thank you.